Robert Rodriguez is a legendary filmmaker, most known for giving us Desperado, From Dusk Till Dawn, Planet Terror, and so much more. The man is an artistic genius, and there's a lot to learn from him, which we're going to do with your hosts, What's up, horror fam? Steven, A.K.A. Bojangles here, and come closer, my friends. I have something scary to tell you. Anna and I are huge fans of legendary filmmaker Robert Rodriguez, and we have done a lot of research on what makes this man so successful. And today, we're going to share with you 17 things you can learn from Robert Rodriguez. Forget the tea, we're spilling the guts on this one. So sit back and enjoy, horror fam. All right, Anna, I'm stoked today because I'm a huge Robert Rodriguez fan.
Right.
Love him.
How can you not be?
Right, he's such a fun director to watch. Like, he is going to incorporate there's no better adjective for it than fun into
absolutely.
Everything he does.
I would say he's, a fan's filmmaker.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense, right? Like, they talk a lot about, in all kinds of art forms, he's a filmmaker's filmmaker, or you know what I mean? That kind of thing. We talk about that a lot with bands. Oh, this is a band's band. This is the type of band that other bands like. But I feel like Robert Rodriguez is the type of director fans like, if that makes sense. Like, he's a real fan. And you can see that in his
He is, but
films.
I've always wondered why he's never been more popular.
Is he not?
Than what he is. No. No, he doesn't. No, he does. No, he's not. I wouldn't say. You never hear anyone talk about him like you do Quentin Tarantino or something like that ever.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's, maybe he's in that shadow a little bit, and because Tarantino definitely has fanboys, but you don't ever see any Robert Rodriguez fanboys. I'm one.
Yeah. It's funny. I think I am right at that age where there was so much fanboying going on for Robert Rodriguez amongst my
friend
group.
Yeah.
Because we were in our late teens, early 20s when things like Desperado, From Dusk Till Dawn, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, we were all going to see those movies and fanning over them really, really hard. And so it's to me, that's what I have in my head.
See, I guess it's because I've done because he's before my time. El Mariachi and stuff like that is really before my time.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I was looking for inspiration and stuff and kind of researching some of these directors and stuff like that, you can always find Quentin for an example.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a good example because we know how good of friends they are and
how good of friends they are. And they both came up around the same time. They've both been a part of the same production studio.
Yeah.
And
they make movies together.
They do. So you could always find Quentin Tarantino interviews, Quentin Tarantino clips. That has never been a problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was a little more difficult for me to find Robert Rodriguez stuff, and I loved his stuff. Now, Rebel Without a Crew, his book, is absolutely amazing. I've read that book numerous times, which a lot of the stuff we're going to cover today
is from that.
Is from that.
Yeah.
But also, for instance, for those of you who are diehard Talk Horror fans, when I started the Talk Horror show, which is what launched the YouTube back in 2009, I was watching Robert Rodriguez stuff, whatever I could find. Once again, there was very little. It was very limited.
Yeah. But he had those 10-minute shorts.
He had those little, the Robert Rodriguez Film School. Yeah. And it would be a 7-minute video of him just coming in, raising hell and leaving. He's bringing the content and then he is out.
Yeah, yeah.
He was like a good YouTuber before there were good YouTubers. He just launched into that content.
Do you think it's possible that you see less of Robert Rodriguez because he's busier?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, Quentin Tarantino is extremely deliberate, right? He has set this goal for himself to make 10 films.
Yes.
And Robert Rodriguez, who you said, like, as they're making their first movies at the same time. Mm-hmm. And Robert Rodriguez has way more than 10 films. But more than that, he has dozens of other projects that he's been involved in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is a busy guy, like different energy. And that's not picking on either of them, right? Like it's just different.
But I know, like, he's running production studios. He's helping his family. Yeah. He's helping other independent filmmakers. He does music. He does art.
Speaking of busy, you said family. He's got 5 kids.
Yeah.
Dude's busy.
Dude's busy, bro. Dude's busy. But yeah, I mean, so that is, I was using Robert Rodriguez for inspiration, all that, I really admire the dude, and it was very surprising, and I love the fact that recently he did an interview with Lex Friedman, a fellow podcaster, and it just felt like a blessing because, like, ooh, more Robert Rodriguez content, because you never see anything about him.
Yeah.
And if you watch this, because you're going to get a lot of this same material that we cover in this one, you're going to get a lot of some of his talking points in the Lex Friedman podcast.
From the horse's mouth.
From the horse's mouth himself. So if you haven't heard that podcast, definitely go and check that out. And it will also give you another appreciation for Robert Rodriguez, because Lex Friedman is extremely dry.
He is. Yeah.
I mean, it sounded like this son of a bitch was going to fall asleep during that podcast. Yeah. He is a very point A, point B, point C podcaster.
I could see him being a podcaster you put on to fall asleep to. Yes. That's like no shade. Like he's very like soothing to listen to.
But I'm saying like Robert Rodriguez, a lot of these other podcasters will say Joe Rogan, for example.
Right.
He's going to ask a question and then let it flow naturally like a conversation. Yeah. And he will be, not Lex Friedman, he's very A, B, C, but Robert Rodriguez takes over. Yeah. He just kicks that door down, and Robert Rodriguez doesn't need anyone else to kind of guide him or to converse with. Yeah. He'll just keep going.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't listened to that podcast,
it's so good.
It is so good. And like Anna said, you'll get a lot of it from the horse's mouth right here. But over the years, watching every piece of content of his I could, devour.
Yeah.
I've taken... what do we have here? The final list is 17 things, and I'm sure there's a lot more. 17 things you can learn from Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah. So this is a take from 2 fellow creatives on what we've learned from Robert Rodriguez.
And it's going to be interesting because we are going to identify with a lot of these points and kind of maybe give you some real world examples as well.
Absolutely.
But are you ready to launch into it?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Give Robert the recognition and respect
he deserves.
that this man deserves, baby. Number 1, Anna.
Yeah.
Use what you've got. Borrow what you don't.
Absolutely.
Right.
And it's funny because I feel like it builds off, there's that old adage of write what you know.
Yes.
And I think this almost applies better to like the write what you know is about the story. Mm-hmm. Use what you've got is for the like visual artist, for the filmmaker, maybe for the photographer, for whatever. It's like use what you've got. Like it's such... You want to show, or you want to tell everybody his examples of that?
Well, his examples of that are, for instance, when he was making El Mariachi, he was like, man, I have a guitar case. I have a turtle.
I have a pit bull.
Yeah, I have a pit bull. My buddy, owns a bus.
Yeah.
I have another buddy who owns a ranch. How can we incorporate these things? And it wasn't only that, okay? So that's the material objects and stuff that he has, that he can use within his film, but he also didn't have the necessary equipment to pull something like this off.
Right.
So now he would have done it one way or the other. If he had shot this, he would have shot this thing on a handy cam if he had to.
Yeah.
But he found a camera that his buddy wasn't using. I mean, this was a $2,000 camera. He couldn't afford that.
Right.
But his buddy wasn't using the camera. He's like, hey, man, would you mind if I borrow that
Yeah.
and shoot my film with it. He borrowed it.
Right. And what was it? It was like it was a 16
I believe so.
16 millimeter camera from World War II.
Yeah. So, I mean,
So if like immediately picture in your head those old, the old footage from World War II where you hear that.
yeah. Oh, it was very loud. It was extremely loud.
So he had to record the sound separately from his footage, right?
Absolutely. And that worked out better for him. But yeah, so he both used what he had and borrowed what he didn't have.
Yeah.
And that worked its way into El Mariachi. And, you know, he didn't even, you know, it wasn't his camera. He wasn't familiar with this stuff. It wasn't his ranch. He was, you know, but he still found a way to utilize that stuff. And for those of you who don't know, El Mariachi was made for only $7,000.
Yeah.
An action film won $7,000. I mean, today, if you make an action film, 50 million's a cheap one, right?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
50 mil.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Cheap.
For a high action, right?
This dude did
For
it on
John Wick, you know what I mean? Like that's that ain't 50 mil, you know.
This dude did it for $7,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And made his movie. So, and he did that by utilizing what he had and borrowing what he didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that that's something that has come up a lot for you as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I have to sit around and think about what I have access to.
Yeah.
And who I have access to.
Yeah.
You know, if my buddy owns a bar or owns a ATV or, you know, what do they have that I could possibly, you know, if I want to work it in there, you know, I start to, you know, I start keeping track of who I know and what they've got, man, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, absolutely. And you have to remember too, man, this is the time to do stuff like that, because if you have an iPhone, you have an infinitely better camera in your pocket. I don't give a damn what generation it is.
Yeah.
Than Robert Rodriguez had when he made El Mariachi.
Right.
So, yeah, you just
start
have
there.
to,
You've already got your camera.
Yeah, take that steak and go for it, you know.
Yeah.
Just have to do it. Number 2, Anna, just create. Let go of your expectations of the outcome.
Right.
You just have to get on it.
Yeah. Just keep doing it.
Right.
Right.
Because
the way he puts it is create a body of work.
Yeah.
Just keep, or opening the pipe too. He talks about that a lot.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? You are not going to sit around, for instance, and just suddenly make the perfect movie. It's just going to fall out of your ass.
Yeah.
You have to get on it.
Yeah. Just do it.
However that looks.
Or stop aspiring.
Right. Start creating.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? Complete is better than perfect.
Yeah. Right.
There's you another one. Because if you sit around and you are designing one shot over and over and over in your head till it's perfect, it has the perfect lighting, it has the perfect color, it has the perfect framing, it has the perfect actors with the perfect dialogue, with the perfect camera, you're never going to get anything done.
Yeah.
And if you do, it's going to be at a snail's pace. Right.
Yeah, there's a saying, perfect is the enemy of good.
There you go.
And it's like a lot of us, especially creatives, I think, fall into that trap.
Yeah, and his point really is that is going to be your best teacher. So you can sit around and think of it a million different ways how you're going to capture this one scene or create this one movie. But if you don't do it, it never happens. You have to have something to show somebody. Most importantly, yourself. Mm-hmm. Because when you get it done, then you know what to do, what not to do next time. And then you just keep moving on and then you just learn. Okay. Yeah. Don't stop. And procrastination, my God, we have both dealt with that. Like you will make... If you sit around and the more you think about it, the less likely you're going to create it. Yeah. That is a fact.
That's true. Absolutely. It's funny listening to him talk about this point. Immediately made me think of Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try. Right? Just do it. Just do it.
Well, because, okay.
Stop trying to be a filmmaker, a painter, an artist, a writer. Just do it.
Like that is how you have to do it. I mean, whether it was with, no matter the size of the crew or the project or whatever, we can go back to what launched this YouTube channel. And I'm not talking about your run-of-the-mill videos that I've done.
Right.
That's content.
Right. Your list videos.
My listicles or whatever you would want to call them. We'll talk about the Talk Horror show, which when I created this in 2009, I had this ambitious idea that I wanted to create an actual horror show with different elements. This wasn't most videos you see are 10 things you didn't know about Halloween.
Right.
10 things 10 movies you should watch for Shark Week.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Like these all serve one specific purpose.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The show, I wanted it to be like an anthology with different segments.
I was going to say, so you created different characters.
Different characters.
And each of the characters had their own segment.
They
did movie reviews. They did
Bloody Beauties. They did a cooking segment.
Right, I was going to say they did recipes inspired by horror films. Like,
yeah,
it was fantastic.
We had, of course, I was the host, the showman. I was the crypt keeper.
Yeah.
I was the ghoul.
Yeah.
You know, I was the creep show creep. Whatever.
Yeah. You know what's funny is if we continue talking about the Talk Horror show throughout this discussion.
Yeah.
By the end of it, I'm gonna really want to go
Bring
back to making the Talk Horror show. But anyways, yeah.
But this is, and I'm being completely honest here, and I'm using this myself and the Talk Horror show as a real world example of this. The way that happened, and we are going to have a Talk Horror retrospective on here at one point. I'm going to get at least Ginger Zombie to do it.
Yeah.
With me, you know, I would like to lock down some of the other cast members and stuff like that if they would be down for it, just to get on here and talk about it, because it is amazing how this came together. But it was when it started. We had nobody else was doing anything like this on YouTube that I knew of.
Right.
Maybe there were. I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't see it.
Yeah.
I had no template to pull this off. So I'm sitting around on the couch. This is how I remember it. I'm sitting around on the couch with Ginger Zombie. And I just, I'm talking about this idea. He's talking about it with me. And we just decided, dude, let's make this happen. Let's do it. I didn't even have a camera at this point.
Wow.
Because we needed something that I could digitize. The only cameras I had were tape recorders.
Wow.
So we decide in that immediately, we're going to Walmart. We're going to find a camera. We went and picked up a camera immediately. I think my grandma gave me the money for it.
Wow.
Yeah. So she went with us.
Oh, yeah.
Because she was our bankroll.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I had no clue how much a camera is going to cost or what but I knew that it had to be something that I could import the footage into a computer. So we go and do this, and I'm going to tell you something fortunate that happened because of this. I pick out the camera, and they have to get it out of the case, right? Well, under the case, there was none of the camera that I wanted. Now, this is my camera. This is the one I wanted, man. We jumped on this opportunity immediately. She goes in the back. She finds out, she scanned the barcode. Well, we got a shipment of these in. We just haven't put them out yet. She goes and gets our camera and brings it out, and it is in a shipping box, essentially. It is a cardboard brown box. This isn't the product box.
Right.
Thank you, man. We're glad you had this. Grandma pays for it. We check out. We get home, open that up. There were 2 cameras in there. She gave us the shipping box.
Oh, no.
So it just worked out like that in so many ways where we jumped on it immediately.
Yeah.
Didn't have, so we immediately started shooting, doing test footage like the next day. Originally it was going to be shot on the back porch. Well, that doesn't work. We need a green screen.
Wow.
I'd never worked with a green screen. Didn't know anybody else who worked with a green screen. And it was just, we hit the ground running immediately. Didn't have time to think about it. Every problem that came up, we found a solution for.
Yeah.
and we just created it. Now, I'll look back on that thing and I'll sit here and tell you a million reasons why it sucked. But I'll also tell you a million reasons why it's one of the funnest times in my life.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's like, and how do you do that though too, is, you know, sit back and look at it and go, well, this sucks for so many reasons. It's a bunch of 20-year-olds who have never made anything like that before, you know?
Yeah. And we
doing it, just getting it done. You know what I mean?
I committed to 1 episode a week for the month of October, leading up to Halloween.
Yeah.
We pulled it off in beautiful bloodbath, gory fashion. And now I look back on it with the fondest of memories, you know what I'm saying? But that's what it was. Now I can see, now after I've done it, I'll sit around and I can critique it and think about things I would have done differently. But that was my teacher. Yeah. I didn't have another teacher than doing it. And that is his whole point, for just create and let go of your expectations of the outcome, because you never know what could happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it might work out better. Now, I wouldn't trade those. I could have made them a million times better. They could have been the perfect horror show of all time. Wouldn't trade them for that.
You're right.
Absolutely not. We just created, and that's what comes from that. You know, and that also brings us on to what you were talking about, which is number 3, build a body of work.
Keep creating.
Keep creating.
Right. And I think it plays right into that releasing of expectations, because a lot of times if you make something, it doesn't turn out the way you hoped it would, you stop.
Right.
Right. And so his point is just keep going.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's like, he talks about the fact that there's like an adage in Hollywood that for screenwriters, your first 4 scripts are going to suck. Like, just expect like your script number 5. That's it. That's the one.
That's the one that'll sell. Yeah.
And he had heard that, knew that was a thing.
Yeah.
And so he decided, well, I want to learn how to do all of it. So I'm going to write my first script and I'm going to film it so that I'm learning everything about this whole process. And those will suck, except that his first was El Mariachi.
Well, yeah, because they told him, you know, throw away those first few scripts.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I don't want to throw it away. I'm going to use them to practice filmmaking. And he's like, and that, you know, the whole thing will be throwaway. So I'll have written a script and I'll have filmed it and it'll all be garbage. Yeah. Because that's what everybody says.
Well, and then, you know, and then you get a look back and, well, this is what and he has a great example of that, because Tarantino invited him to be a part of 4 Rooms.
That's right.
Which is an anthology where different directors come together to direct 4 different segments.
Yeah.
And he knew, like, historically, anthologies just don't work. They do not blow up the world of Hollywood and become this mega blockbuster.
Yeah, but his gut instinct was a yes.
Yeah, so he just jumped on it immediately.
Like, okay, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And he did it. Of course, 4 Rooms bombs.
Yeah.
But he learned from it, because he really loved the short story concept. He loves anthologies.
Yeah.
And then, you know, years later, he's making Sin City.
Right. And another one of his great successes came out of it too, because in his segment, he works with 2 kids who seem to have a bit more going on than their parents. Right. Yep. And that's where Spy Kids came out of. Yeah. Right. That's what inspired him to make Spy Kids.
So for making a film that he wasn't supposed to make, that was going to be a box office bomb, that they never succeed, right?
Yeah.
He was still able to glean information from it and experience from him that would go on to be his biggest cinematic successes and financial successes as well. Spy Kids and Sin City are the biggest things he's ever done.
Yeah.
Financially. So, yeah. He couldn't have done that without building a body of work.
Yeah. Well, and listening to his own yes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if he didn't know why. He didn't know why he was saying yes, but his gut said yes, so he did it.
Right.
Yeah, and he said too, like, because it did bomb. 4 Rooms bombed. And he said he could have sat around and been depressed about that forever, or
just keep going.
Or just keep going, right?
Yeah. If he had sat around after that, then, you know, look at all the stuff we wouldn't have gotten from him.
Yeah.
If he sat around and just analyzation paralyzation, right?
Right.
He's like,
right.
oh, this didn't work because and
no,
then,
I can't do anything.
Now he's stuck.
Yeah.
All right, Anna. Number 4, embrace technology.
Yeah.
It's just another tool for the tool belt, really, is how he looks at it. And he's always been one of those.
Yeah.
That is, he's going to embrace digital. He's going to embrace the green screen.
Yeah.
He's in all of these things. He's going to do it. And he was shooting digital before any other big leaguers was shooting digital. He was editing digitally before any of the other they wouldn't let you edit digital. You got to do this on film. He's like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. And part of that is because he wanted to do his own chopping.
Yeah.
He wanted to do his own editing. So he's like, well, this is how I can do it. Like, I can't.
Yeah. I don't want to sit around and get film. It's dirty. You get handprints on it. There's all these risk factors involved.
Yeah.
It's slow.
Yeah.
He decided that he wanted to edit digitally, so he actually had an editing studio put into his home.
Yeah.
And which also is how he could, still live in Texas.
Right.
while working on his film. He didn't want to do it in Hollywood. He wanted, he had a very specific way of doing things that he wanted them done. And, and he also didn't want to wait forever. He knew if he lets an editor get a hold, he's just going to be waiting forever. He's like, I can do this myself. Let's run with it.
It's going to be faster. It's going to be cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he would rather have that money either in his own pocket or put into the film or, there's better uses for it than sitting around editing film. So I'm not saying that, don't aspire to shoot on film if that's your jam, whatever, but do embrace new technologies and be willing to learn and adapt because you may need them at some point. The more versatile you are.
Yeah. Well, I think like the biggest lesson from it is because he's not, you have to,
mm-hmm.
If a new technology comes out, you have to use it in your filmmaking. He's definitely more about like, don't be afraid of new technology.
Mm-hmm.
If you get in there and play with it and mess with it, you figure out that there's nothing to be afraid of from it.
Yeah.
And that, you can use it to your advantage, especially if you're right out the gate. If you're one of the first people to jump on it and be like, well, I'm going to try that. I'm going to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're a hot commodity because you've learned how to use new technology before anybody else has.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. So embrace that technology, whatever it looks like, even if you think you'll never give it a shot. Just give it, if it is an aspect of what you're doing,
mm-hmm.
give it a shot, see what it's about. You may be like, well, that's not for you. Or, hey, 5 years down the road, you're like, hey, I know how to handle this problem.
Right.
Because it is another tool that you can utilize.
Yeah.
So there you go, Anna. There you go. Embrace the technology.
All right. And number 5?
Number 5, your limitations sometimes become your biggest assets. And there's many examples of this that he can list throughout his career. Number 1, he only had 2 lights for El Mariachi. Now today, you have the basic lighting setup is you have to have 3 lights.
Yeah.
You have to do all this and that, but he had just basic lighting with household bulbs.
Yeah. Yeah. Now people compliment the lighting on El Mariachi
Oh,
as being moody. It's moody.
Yeah, it's moody. This is, really atmospheric and right.
Well, no, we only had 2 lights. That's all we could do. That's all we could afford. 2 lights. So
then, you have his camera that he borrowed
mm-hmm.
from someone, had absolutely no clue how to use it. As a matter of fact, he had to call a retailer to ask them about the camera.
How
do I use this? How, and they're telling him to look for markings on the camera. Do you see this? Well, then it can do this. Do you see it? Well, then it can. And that is how he learned. Like, he just called.
Yeah.
Sure, it wasn't the most convenient way of doing things, but that's how you did it back then. Now you can hop on YouTube. There's a billion tutorials for everything, for anything.
Oh, how many things have we fixed in our home? Using YouTube tutorials.
Right.
So many things.
Right. So, but also, he learned how to use this camera, finds out, oh man, well, we can't do sound.
Yeah.
And then he finds out, like, well, mixing the sound in post-production actually was a huge benefit to him because that allowed him more maneuverability in the editing of his film. So what could be looked at as a severe limitation worked in his favor massively. And
absolutely.
Yeah. So just embrace some of those limitations and get around them creatively, and you'll have a better product.
Right. He didn't have a dolly for this ancient camera he was using.
No.
So he sat in a wheelchair
and pushed himself around.
Pushed him around while he filmed on the move, right?
Yeah, and it gave his film a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So
moving a lot faster. He's moving much faster in his wheelchair than you can move a camera dolly.
Right. And it's not...
Unless you've got the rails.
I mean, it's an action film too. So it lends, to the genre. And it's not... The camera is not sitting around on a tripod. I mean, for God's sakes, I'd hate to imagine if Robert Rodriguez... At the age of 23, I believe when he shot El Mariachi, I would hate to think if this guy had been given a $5,000 tripod, that camera would have never came off of it.
Right, it just sat there the whole time.
Yeah, it's too nice. Well, we got to use the $5,000 tripod. And then look how much that would have limited him. So
yeah,
your limitations can actually become very freeing. Number 6. Create what you enjoy because you are the audience.
Right, and I think that brings us like full circle to what I was saying at the beginning, which is he's a fan's filmmaker.
Absolutely.
Right? Like he's such a movie fan. And he makes the type of movies he enjoys and fills them full of the things that put a smile on his face when he's watching a movie. So some of the action is outrageous action, and so you know what I mean. Like it's stuff that he doesn't want you to sit and think, "Wow, what a brilliant film." Yeah, you're right. He wants you to sit and just be like, "Oh man, that's the best time I've had in a movie theater in 10 years." Right? Like,
he wants you to have fun. He is the audience. You can tell he's a fun-loving guy. He wants everything to be fun.
Yeah,
and. Yeah, these are the films. He makes the films that he wants to see.
Yeah.
So, it comes down to, hey, knowing your audience, right? Mm-hmm. Create what you want to see. And I know Quentin Tarantino is, he has the same sentiment. Mm-hmm. These are my films. I'm making what I want to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just so happens to be what everyone else wants to see as well. Being such a big fan of film. So, yeah. Create what you enjoy, Anna. Number 7, do it yourself.
You do it yourself.
You do it yourself, buddy. The more aspects of filmmaking you're involved in, the better director you'll be. So Robert Rodriguez is very well-rounded and well-versed. Yeah.
And I think this is such a good rule, not just for creativity, but for life. Mm-hmm. If you know if you know how to do everything that goes into any kind of project, one, it helps you understand all the people you're working with a little bit better, their frustrations, what's difficult for them, what's easy for them, what makes their job fun, and also, if you have to be in charge of a group of people, if you don't know what it takes to do their job, the frustrations you can run into just because you've got an idea in your head of what it should look like or how it should go. That's totally unrealistic, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's, it's a good way to look at raising kids. It's a good way to look at relationships. It's like, if you can't put yourself very honestly into someone else's shoes, right? Then you don't know what it's taking to get anything done in a day.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not only that, but it's also that if you, for instance, Robert Rodriguez, he's a composer, musician, he's an editor, he's a filmmaker, he knows how to do sound, a lot of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's an artist, so he can play around with set design or costume, whatever. So, for instance, a way this can relate to filmmaking is if you're the composer or the musician, well, now you can edit to the music because you already have the music
in your head.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And if you are the editor, well, and you're also the director, well, now you know how to direct for the edits.
Right.
So it all just kind of comes together.
Yeah.
You
And you're
know,
wasting
just-
a lot less time, a lot less energy.
Yeah.
You know.
Just from wearing multiple hats and just gaining experience. You know, you don't have to, you know, if, you know, costume design isn't your thing, like, well, that's fine. In filmmaking, they, you know, they make that's their job.
Yeah.
But at least experience it some.
Yeah.
Get an idea for it.
It's funny because there's actually like an aspect of this. I would love to be able to talk directly to him about this. There's one aspect of this I struggle with as a writer because I make my living as an editor. And so, and you know, it's a little different editing than just like film editing, right? Film editing is a lot of cuts, but you're not going through and rewriting anything anybody has said on the editing room floor, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in editing the written word, you are, right? You can go back in and rearrange everything, like in a way that you can't with, you know, when you've got film in your hands. But so I run into a problem that they like warn writers against: don't edit as you write. And when your brain is so hardwired for the editing, because it's what you're doing all day long.
Yeah.
And so I get into my own way like a lot with that.
Yeah.
And I will edit myself as I write, which makes the writing process take, you know, 10 times longer than it should.
Oh, man.
You know?
Yeah.
But so there's that. At least I know how to edit myself, but
Yeah. Yeah. But you're a writer first, right? So,
you know,
or you want to be. Aspire to be.
I am.
You are. That's right. We'll get to that here in a little bit. Right? Number 8, forget film school.
Yeah.
Unless you need it to get out of your own way.
Right. That's what he says. Like, you know, you'll learn as you do.
Yes.
Right. And learning as you do is a better teacher.
Yes.
And another big warning of his about film school is, well, then you'll learn how to make movies the way everybody else makes movies. Whereas if you just jump in and try to do it, you'll learn how to make movies the way you make movies.
Yeah. I mean, that's what he said when he, you know, you were talking about that adage earlier, you know, throw away your first 3 scripts, 4 scripts, whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's what he considered his film school, was those first scripts.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where he wanted to invest that money into instead of, you know, I mean, you can spend $1 million and go to film school, but
yeah,
it's like he said, like there's nothing that's going to replace that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he does have a caveat that I find very, very interesting.
Yeah.
He's like, take some writing classes, but forget film school. And I think like that struck me a lot because I know it, you know, for those of you who watch our show or listen to these podcasts regularly, you know that Stephen and I run into trouble with movies.
Yeah.
If like the writing isn't tight, like that's like our biggest like pet peeve is like, where's the, and so it was interesting to me that Robert Rodriguez's caveat is you don't need film school, but you do need to know how to write. Like, you know, you need to know how to tell a story, right? But, and they can teach you that. Like that's a teachable
I think that, and I think that is more of a learning the technicality,
learning the technicality, the beats. That this is how you make, you know, a story compelling. This is how you make your movie move correctly, so you don't feel like you're.
Yeah. So he's basically saying like if you can't get out of your own damn way, okay, and you need to get you need that permission to move forward. Film school is a good way to get your hands on the tools and learn the usage of these tools.
Well, right, because he's a big...
But don't allow it to replace your creativity.
He's a big proponent of taking on the mantle immediately, right? You're not an aspiring filmmaker, you're a filmmaker. And so, so his go to film school if it's the only way you can tell your brain that you're a filmmaker.
Yes, exactly, which brings us to... Number 9. Own it.
Own it.
Stop aspiring.
Be it.
Make business cards.
Right. That's his big one is put so-and-so filmmaker on business cards, pass them out to all your friends.
Because because he says like, hey, if you sit around and you identify as aspiring to be something,
you'll always be aspiring.
You're always aspiring. You're never going to be the filmmaker because you've limited yourself in your mind.
Right. And that can be true about anything. Everybody, right? Almost everybody. I don't want to say everybody, but almost everybody has something they want to do. And it doesn't have to be a big, I want to be a filmmaker. Or I want to be a poet, right? It can be something as simple as like, man, I really want my own kitchen garden.
Yeah.
I hope to do that one day. Like, I really hope to, just do it. Just own it. I'm a gardener. I grow my own herbs. I do that.
What you do. He's like,
I own that, and the herbs in my kitchen are dead currently. But
the only person who could be in your way is you.
Yeah.
If you just commit to, hey, I am a filmmaker. I am a creative person.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, like you said, whatever endeavor it is, you're not aspiring. If you do, you're going to sit around forever. And that's all you're ever going to be. And I can relate to this in so many ways. This kind of harkens back to, when we were talking about the Talk Horror show, and I just jumped on it.
Yeah.
Right? Like we just jumped on it, had no clue, blah, 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 and just went for it.
Yeah.
Right? And now it's done. And it's been done for years upon years upon years. Nobody can take that away from me, and nobody can take the experience away from me because I've thought about it a lot over the years.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. But as you know, there have been moments that have come up in our lives where West Virginia does not have this big film community whatsoever. Nothing ever gets made here.
Right.
The
movies about here don't get made here.
No, they don't, right? But there were some opportunities that came up that would get me on a film set.
Yeah.
And they sprang up, as a matter of fact, there was the one that I was talking to this guy. And I was just impressed that a film was being made out here. So I immediately got in contact with him, and I'm talking to him about like, oh man, this is amazing. And, he offers me this job potentially to come on. He's like, I got to talk to some people, whatever, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And me and you are out to dinner one day. He messages me while we're at dinner and is like, can you be here the next day?
Yeah.
I didn't have time to think about it.
No.
At all.
No.
At all. I didn't have, he's like, we are shooting tomorrow. Like I don't have time to tell you about anything going on. And I knew nothing other than this is the location.
Yeah.
We're shooting for 14, 15 days, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Can you be here? You'll be staying in a motel. I had no idea who I was staying with. Had no idea. Nothing.
We got up from dinner and went and bought you some clothes because you wanted to look professional.
Yeah.
We came home, packed you a bag, and got you the hell out of there.
And I was gone. Gone.
Yeah.
That is how quick I had to make that decision.
Yeah.
If I had thought about it, I would have talked myself out of it.
Yeah.
I guarantee it, because of it.
Yeah.
Well, they've already begun. This is too, I have no idea what's going on. I haven't been prepared.
Yeah.
This isn't the type of movie I want to make. These aren't the type of people I want to, a million different things could, my back hurts.
Yeah.
I stubbed my toe last week. What am I going to eat? I won't see you for a week. Do you need me to help you with these things around the house? We were supposed to do that. I would have gotten my way in a million different ways.
Yeah, you would have. But also, I would have kicked your butt and made you go.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of people suffer from that procrastinate. Like,
oh yeah.
I that would have never happened. I don't think. Like if I had been given, I don't know, because that's not how it went down. But I was out the door. I didn't sleep the first night.
Yeah.
At all. Went to a film set the next day on zero sleep because I had no clue.
Yeah.
what the hell's going on? And I went from 0 to 100 so fast.
Yeah.
And now that's one of the best experiences of my life. You know, the directors and the assistant are coming up and they're relying on me.
Yeah.
And they're, telling me all these wonderful things about me. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, I felt like Clark. I'm not even supposed to be here. I feel like in the universe's plan for things.
Yeah,
but I was there. And same thing happened months later. I'm on another film set just out of absolutely nowhere. And we were about to go across the country.
Yeah.
If you remember, in 2 days, we leave to fly across the country.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Literally on the opposite side of the world. We're in West Virginia. We're going to Los Angeles 2 days later. And I just tell them, I'm like, I can give you a day and a half or 2 days. I can't remember what it was, but I went.
Yeah.
So you just jump in, you own it.
Yeah.
That is it. That is how you will create things. You have to jump in. The more you sit around and think about it, the more you'll think about how this isn't the perfect scenario, the perfect situation for you, and you won't do it.
Well, and honestly, at the end of the day, any kind of definition about a thing, right? What makes a filmmaker, what makes a writer, what makes it... So we put so much more baggage on it than... than they deserve, right?
Yeah.
Like if you write anything, sit down and write your name. Like, well, you're a writer, right? Like by definition, right? It doesn't have to be, well, a writer is someone who hits the New York Times bestsellers list or what, some nonsense of,
Not at all. We're all writers, period.
Right.
We all are. And I will tell you, sitting around, it was hard to leave you. Me and you hadn't been separated for any extended period of time during our relationship.
Right, because it was like just after COVID.
Yes.
Right, and everybody was just kind of stuck at home with each other for 24 hours a day for 2 years, right? And it's like... there was some separation anxiety there for sure.
And all these things that I sat around and I thought about that, that could have talked me out of it at any blah, blah, blah. They all worked themselves out anyway.
Yeah.
After the first week of filming, all of a sudden I'm in a hotel room by myself.
Yeah.
And I got you to come up and live with me for the last 2 weeks or whatever of that shoot.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Right?
Yeah.
Now it's also your experience too.
Yeah.
You had a lot of fun too.
Yeah, I got to explore Lewisburg, which is a town here I love. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you go, nobody knows you. This crew was from California, Atlanta, all the other filmmakers. They flew this crew and nobody knew me. And then all of a sudden I'm the favorite person of a lot of people on that set, and they really...
You've got a great nickname.
All of us, I was giving them, some nicknames. We had a lot of fun, all of a sudden, I'm working on a completely different department, picking up different credits for areas that I was not hired to do. All of a sudden, I'm a sound man. I'm an assistant director at point. Like, this shit was crazy. And it was just because I showed up.
Yeah.
And I showed up and gave my best every single day. My feet were literally bleeding the last week of filmmaking.
Yeah. Yeah. It
was literally bleeding.
Yeah.
Through my socks.
Yeah, it was horrible.
But I showed up and I did my best. And that's what you have to do, man. Show up, own it. Stop aspiring. Just do it. And I promise you will surprise yourself every single time.
Absolutely.
I know you know that too. If you just jump in and start doing it, you're going to come up with some. Like, you're not just, if you just sit down behind a computer and start writing, something's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Something's coming out. You pick up a camera and you're like, I'm going outside and I'm filming something today. Or hell, I'm filming inside today.
Well, it also, like... reminds you to answer the question why. Like, why do you want to be a filmmaker? Why do you know what I mean? Those thoughts you have in your head of I want to learn how to paint. Right? Is it because you think painting can make you millions of dollars, or because there's something in you that just wants to paint? Because I feel like that's what we worry about when we worry about the outcome. Yeah. Right? Is like, who's going to acknowledge that you're the painter, right? As opposed to just, well, I wanted to learn how, I wanted to paint, and now I paint. Who cares what it looks like if you're done because you did it, and you're like, well, that's what you wanted, right? Was just to paint.
It is extremely funny that you use that as an example.
Okay.
Because after being on those film sets, I told you all on that second one that, you know, I was on a couple months later or whatever. And then I had 2 days and then we're off to Los Angeles.
Right.
When we get to Los Angeles, you and your family
invited me
to go painting. I have never, I don't paint. And if you ask me, I am I cannot draw.
No, he was like,
I cannot paint.
Yeah.
And I just sat there and I'm going. I've never done this before. This is an experience I can have. I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
We'll see I don't expect me to produce anything worth it. As a matter of fact, I'll probably get a laugh out of this because it's going to be so horrible.
Yeah. No, it was great.
I surprised myself massively. It is a painting that I've kept.
Yeah.
Is it the best thing in the world? No, but
it was
my very first painting. It was the best that I could do, and I surprised myself with how well I did it. And even the art teacher came over and was like, man, I wish I had thought about that. That's crazy how you use the paint right there to create the plaster. He's like, walls like this always have that mark on them, don't they? And I'm like, yeah, for some reason, like they always have like this shitty plaster or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, man, that's a good touch. Like, man, hey, you know, like this is all, you know, and I'm like, I didn't show up for that. I'm not over here stroking my own ego, but I'm just like, stuff like that happens, and it does. It makes you feel great.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I can do that.
Yeah, I did.
I just never,
you
know, I did it because I wanted to hang out with you guys and experience something new. And it's like, well, if it sucks, so what? It was an hour.
Right. You spent 2 hours out
with people I love.
Having a good time.
Yeah.
You know?
So, yeah, it's, you know, and this brings us right into our next point, Anna, which is a great one. Number 10.
Mm-hmm.
On one of the things you can learn about Robert Rodriguez, or from Robert Rodriguez, art is like life. Problems you do not plan for are always going to pop up.
Yeah.
You go to a job interview, oh man, you spilled coffee on you.
Yeah.
You go on a date, oh crap, dude, I missed the spot shaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go get headshots. Oh man, I forgot to trim my nose hairs. You know what I'm saying? You know, you pop a flat tire.
Yeah.
You fall down the steps.
Yeah.
You lose your wallet. Like that is always going to happen. It is life. And the thing is, when those things happen, it's not world ending.
No.
You get a flat tire on the way to work. Well, does that mean you don't go to work now? No, not at all. Now you have to incorporate, I got to fix this flat tire, but I also have to go to work.
Yeah.
You're going to make both happen. You didn't expect the flat tire. You didn't expect to miss your nose hairs when you're going on that date. But they happen, and you just keep going. And then a week later, you're not even going to think about that flat tire. You still went to work. You still showed up. You still went for that day. You're still talking to the girl or guy that you were talking to.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to work with a great story now, right?
Yes.
You got to work and you have a story about, you know, the weird guy who stopped to help you change your tire or the, you know what I mean? Right. You never know.
Right.
You know,
there's things that are going to happen. I remember when I went to make my first, well, not my first by far, but my, a really ambitious short film I was working on. Mm-hmm. I broke my ribs in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah.
I have test footage for the short film. I still got my test footage and all that. There's still that exists out there in the ethos.
Yeah.
Never got to make the short film, but things happen like that. Well, you break your ribs, comes a crucial snowstorm, time is passing, casts are falling in and out. You can either do it or you don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nothing is going to go perfectly smooth the way you picture it, even on the film set itself.
Yeah. You know, and it's interesting when he speaks about this part, it really brings up the word from you all the time is resilience. Right.
That's it.
And how psychologically resilient you are.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how much can you roll with the punches? How much can you shrug off and say, oh, you know, a good example is your broken ribs, because it actually, like, something like that is catastrophic enough to end a project, right? It's like, you're the director, you broke your ribs, like, you're not picking up a camera the next day, right? And you've never let that stop you from being a filmmaker, from doing new projects, from it was like, and that's the type of thing that could devastate somebody, which they never even try again.
Yeah.
You know, then that works all the way down to all the little frustrations that happen when you're working on anything, right? Yeah. And how much do you let them stop you, make them, or let them make you feel like you've had a horrible day, no matter how much else actually went right? You know what I mean? And how much can you keep moving forward after whatever the universe has thrown at you, right? Is all a measure of your resilience.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's like
that's a muscle that you can build, right? Resiliency is a muscle you can build.
Absolutely. And it's the key. It's one of those things where you have to just keep going. We had Rob Schmidt on here.
Sorry, just keep swimming, swimming.
Yeah, right. I mean, we had the director of Wrong Turn on the podcast. If you haven't listened to that, you really need to. It is an absolutely incredible episode.
Yeah, Rob Schmidt is amazing.
Absolutely amazing. And we asked him, you know, a few questions where he got really brutally honest with us.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
You know, for instance, he told us something that nobody knows about Wrong Turn, has never been spoken aloud.
Yeah. 2
of his stars ended up sleeping with each other. And he's like, oh my God, this is something that could tear a movie set down.
Right.
This is,
this could stop production. If things go bad between them, like, this could end production.
But I mean, that happens. We're humans.
Yeah.
We're animals. We're gonna do that, baby. Like the Bloodhound Gang, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
But also he went on to say, you know, I asked him, what is something that in retrospect you would do differently on that film if you had the ability to do it? What is something you would go back and do? And he's just said, man, I would tell myself not to be afraid.
Yeah.
He said
it's all going to be okay.
He said that he was scared every day he worked on that film.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he would just take that back. He would have just enjoyed the creative process, had faith that it was all going to be okay, and move forward. So that's it, man. Life's going to happen. People are going to sleep with each other. The tire's going to pop.
Yeah.
The nose hair is going to grow like weeds. Okay? Keep going. You got it.
Yeah.
That's treat and art and life shouldn't be separated. Robert Rodriguez also says that. He's like, things are going to happen on set. And it always happens for the better. When the things go wrong and you have to be creative and move forward, that always leads to something better than that you had already planned for. Always. So art is like life. Don't separate the two. Number 11, Anna. Now this one's you could argue this one is similar to another one where we were talking about wearing different hats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This one, number 11 on things you can learn from Robert Rodriguez. Be creative all around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Do filmmaking, paint, be a musician, etc. Because Robert Rodriguez believes that we all have this creative spirit that lives inside of us, right? And you have to satiate it.
Completely. Absolutely. And I think this one differs just slightly from the other, right? The other one was
knowing the different departments or the different elements that go into a stew.
They're all the technical.
And technical,
right? Know all the technicalities.
Yes.
So that, you can wear your creative hat and still understand all the technicalities that go into, the creation of something. This one is just let your innate human nature of creativity flow.
Yeah.
In multiple directions, right? So, he talks about the fact that he has technically he has played the guitar since he was a child.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not excellent at the guitar because that's not what he does. He doesn't sit and play the guitar all day long. Like, that's what he says is like, I'm not sitting and practicing 5 hours a day. Like some people who like that is their art form, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that continuing even just to play the amount of music that he does, like keeps a completely different part of his creative brain open.
Yeah.
That he paints and it it keeps a different, well, he started as a cartoonist. I don't know if everybody knows that, but before he ever did filmmaking, he had a daily cartoon. So, he says that even now that he paints, it still has this kind of cartoonish style, but again, it like keeps a completely different part of his creative brain open, and that he even gets a lot of his actors to paint in between takes because it's a completely different side of their creative mind and gets them out of their own way when they come back to acting. Yeah.
It just opens you up because creativity is constantly flowing through you.
Yeah. And I think like it's, and I think all children know that, right? All children just are born knowing that we're little creators.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You don't put a piece of paper in front of a child and give them some crayons and they go, I don't know how to draw. I don't, what?
Right.
Like they're scribbling.
Yeah. They're going
And then
wild,
they show
man.
you, look, Mom, it's a dog. You know what I mean? And you're like, it sure is, pal. Right? And it's like they don't even, it doesn't even question. It's not even a question in their mind that they know how to draw. Yeah. Right? They clearly don't. Right? And and something happens that shuts that spigot off at some point in a lot of people's lives. Right? And then, you're 40 years old going like, I don't have a creative bone in my body. And Robert Rodriguez would argue, and I agree 1,000%, is, oh, no. We are all like, that is what it makes us essentially human.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's what makes you different from all the other creatures that walk the planet. Yeah. Is that we are mini creators. Like that's what we are.
Yeah. The only difference is if you feel that way, that's just because you have shut off access to your creative spirit.
Right. Something at some point embarrassed you, shamed you, hurt you, somebody told you you're right, you can't draw. You know what I mean? And you're like,
but he's on all of it, man. He's like, whatever, you feel compelled to do, just embrace that creatively. If you're sitting around and, man, I suddenly want to learn guitar or piano, how to dance, how to paint.
Well, and I think that's the key too, is like we try to put limited definitions of what creativity means, right? And it looks like somebody who crochets, that's a creative process, right? Somebody who, builds things. Like we like to tell like, architects and engineers that that's not creative. And of course it is. Yeah. Right? Figuring out how something works and how to build something is absolutely like a creative process. You know what I mean?
If you have ever answered a play phone from a child,
hello,
you're creative.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
You play make-believe, right?
Yeah. I mean, and that's his thing too.
That's such a good example.
Right? I mean, and that's his thing too. He's like, anybody can learn to be technical.
Yeah.
Anybody can learn to be technical, but you have to be open to creativity.
Yeah.
Have to be open for it. Have to be willing to take advantage of it when it speaks to you.
Yeah.
Because, a good reference he brings up is like, how many musicians are there out there that are absolutely incredible that don't know how to read music?
Right.
They just picked up an instrument, learned their instrument and how to make beautiful sounds from it, but they ain't going to be able to sit down and compose, and they can't.
Right. Explain to you music theory.
Yes.
Right? Like, I don't. What?
They can't do it. I know, for instance, a good one, man. Hey, James Hetfield from Metallica.
Yeah.
And for those of you who think he's just the rhythm guitar, no, he writes Kurt's parts, Kirk's solos, and all of that. Yeah. They don't know how to read music, man. Yeah. They just sit down and create it. They create music. They are music.
Right.
So, they don't need to transpose it into symbols on a page. They just create and embrace that in any way that you can. Now, number 12 here, Anna, on things you can learn from Robert Rodriguez. swim with bigger fish.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard both Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino. I know he's coming up a lot during this, but I've heard them both. Like they have a lot of similarities in their creative thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So Robert Rodriguez is basically saying that, man, you need to hang out with people who are better than you.
Yeah.
At what you want to do.
Yeah.
So one of the stories he tells is, you know, he's hanging out with James Cameron. I can't remember what camera it was that they were talking about.
A Steadicam.
Oh, it was a Steadicam.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about, you know, he's like, Robert Rodriguez calls up James Cameron. He's like, hey, Jim, man, hey, have you ever used a Steadicam?
I just got a Steadicam.
I just got a Steadicam.
I learned how to use it.
And, you know, he's like, you know, and a lot of people who are really good friends will, oh, yeah, man, this is, you know, yeah, I've used one, or no, I haven't, dude. What are you trying to do? You know, they'll try and talk with you about it. He's like, but James Cameron is like, yeah, I've used the Steadicam. I'm actually creating my own. There's a few issues with that.
I have taken it apart.
Yeah, I've taken that thing apart. You know, I'm going to make it better.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, he's like, you know, to us mere mortals.
Yeah.
You know, that's some legendary stuff. I mean, that's like, wow, dude. You know, so whatever that looks like, you know, Quentin Tarantino's analogy is people who run the 100-yard dash. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you know, if you're hanging out in Loserville among all your friends and you're running faster than them, he's like, yeah, you're winning every single time. Like that's what, you know, cool for you, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, but if you know, head to, for instance, I mean, Los Angeles, that's where the filmmaking capital of the world is. And that's where his analogy relates to. He's like, well, now you're hanging out with these.
Yeah.
You're a small fish in a big ass pond. And he's like, and you guys are still running the 100-yard dash. You're getting smoked.
Yeah.
You're getting absolutely smoked. But he's like, the thing about it is your time is going to improve with every single run because you're now running with people that are much faster than you. They're better than you. And this is your crew now.
Yeah.
They're going to lift you up. So, yeah, swim with the bigger fish, Anna.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who talk to you about, you know, like mentorship, you know, find yourself a mentor. And that plays into that as well, right? You look for people who are doing what you want to do. They're already doing it. They're already successful. They're already, you know, and learn from them.
Yeah. Steps did they take? What did they do? Robert Rodriguez says it multiple times in that Lex Friedman interview. He's like, man, you know, everybody's crossing the river. It comes to you. You're going to slip on the first stone.
Yeah.
That's okay. They all made it across. Keep going. You'll get there and you'll be right there with them. Maybe next time you won't be the last one.
You know, and the interesting thing is, you know, because I really like to talk about how all of these apply to like any kind of life, right? It doesn't have to be where, you know, you're a writer or you're a filmmaker, right? You're in this like really, I think a great way this speaks to kind of everybody's life is this is something I have taken very seriously when it comes to relationships, right? So if we have an argument or run into a hiccup, I don't go talk to somebody who is in a shitty relationship.
Yeah.
Who's just bad at it, right? Yeah. Maybe bad talks their partner all the time or anything like that. Like I go to someone whose relationship I really admire. Yes. They've been together a lot longer. They've got the kids. They've got the jobs. You know what I mean? They're like, and are still killing the relationship, right? Are still like the sweethearts who are so romantic or so, you know, and you're like couple goals, right? Like those are the people I'm going to go to for advice, right? Because they're killing it. And I think like, so that's just a great example of how something like that works in just your average Joe's life, right? Like who are you going to for advice? Who are you going to as a sounding board? Who are you surrounding yourself with? If you're being honest about what your goals are, right? Like if my goal is an excellent relationship with my partner, I'm only going to surround myself with people who also have excellent relationships with their partner, and maybe better. Maybe it's something I can look forward to, aspire to, when we've been together for 20 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me and you both have this same mentality. It's actually pretty crazy. But at least who you're seeking that advice from, know your audience. Because you're going to have people who, don't have the best relationships that are going to, it might be your brother, it might be your sister, it might be your mom, dad, whatever.
Your best friend from high school.
But you are going to be around, but those aren't the people. Know your audience. Those aren't the people that you want to, if that is, because the dude who has, or female who has the shitty relationship might be able to, help you in different areas. So they may have a shitty relationship, but you have an extra $20 in your pocket and you don't want to just spend this on Starbucks. Now, you're not going to go ask the damn crackhead down the street, man, what do you think I should do with this extra 20? But the dudes who have the bad relationship, well, it also happens they're an accountant. Right. Hey, man, what do you think I should do with this extra $20? That works, but you don't go to them and be like, hey, man, I'm thinking about getting my girl an awesome birthday gift, or, what do I do the next time we're in an argument? And
different people in our life serve different purposes. Sure,
right.
Sure.
So, but what I am saying, but absolutely, if you have a big goal, you want to surround yourself with as many people as you have access to that strive in where you want to be. If you want to be a filmmaker, man, Los Angeles is where you are going to find a community. You'll be able to, have chats, whatever, with these people and kind of break into that thing. I mean, that's where movies are just constantly being made.
Yeah.
Constantly. If you want to be a football player, you're not going to find any of them behind your Nintendo Switch 2.
Right.
You're going to have to go and get out on the ball field.
Yeah.
And hope to meet some people.
Yeah. Well, and it's something that I wouldn't even, this comes back to limitations, right? Not everybody can afford to move to a hub, but I guarantee you in any place you live, there is even if it feels hidden community of people who are also interested in what you're interested in.
Yeah.
Who are also working, they're writing their first novel. They're, making short films in their backyard. They're, they're gardening. They're better at growing tomatoes than you are, whatever. You know what I mean? There are people near you who are also interested. So there is an aspect of putting yourself out there to find those fish, right?
You have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to do it. You have to put in the work, know your audience.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that does, I think that's a big part of allowing yourself to be creative. And what I was talking about there, that at some point there's something that shut you down. And that's another reason to know your audience, right? We all have people in our lives that if you show them the painting, show them the book, show them the short film, show them, if you're honest with yourself, they're going to have something nasty to say, or just be flat. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, bro. Good for you, man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. We've all done that. Right? We've all done that.
And it's just don't stop.
And that messes with it,
torturing yourself by taking, your endeavors to people like that. Just stop.
Yeah. It's a really sad thing. We've all done that. And I think we're proud of our creation, and then somebody just craps all over it.
And I think it's particularly important when you're first taking those first steps, right? Later on, you want to make sure you're getting the proper critique from people who know what they're doing so that you can learn your craft a little better, right? But those first steps are always so fragile, right? That vulnerable, I made this first thing, right? That's when you need to find the people you have in your life who will give you enthusiastic encouragement, right? That's amazing. Like, good job. That's so fantastic. Right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And,
to give you the confidence to make your second step.
Well, yeah. And not only
step.
that, you know, but, and be willing, you know, if you ask for criticism, they're willing to give it to you. They don't openly, you know.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's one of those kind of shitty things that people do. It's like, I'm showing you this because I'm proud of it. Like, look what I did today, man.
Yeah.
I didn't show you, you know, if I wanted your advice, I would have specifically asked for it. So, like, that's kind of another thing, too.
Right.
It's like, yeah, you gotta kind of watch out for those people, man, because there are people out there who live just to tear people down. And there are things that when you grow up around certain things, they will influence you massively. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If you can't separate that you know, they may be a great friend or something, but it turns out they hate women. We'll say, right?
Right.
They hate women. So this person's never been in a healthy relationship. Mm-hmm. Why would you go to that person and ask them for relationship advice at all? Why would you look up to them as, well, he says women do this, that, and the other? You know, so I'm just going to take his word for it. Well, really? Has he ever been in a good relationship that you've noticed? Like, if he came out of a great relationship with, you know, all these critiques on what could have been done, you know, then you could maybe listen. Well, hell, they were in a great, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
What could I learn from this? But somebody who's just a blanket statement, no, women are, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, well, relationships are dumb.
Yeah.
I'd never get married.
Yeah.
Like, how many times have we seen that?
Oh, a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then you see people who are in relationships ask this person their opinion on something. And it's like, what kind of relationship do you want to have in the one you're in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this guy's fucking lonely.
Yeah.
You know, this guy doesn't have for a reason.
Right.
Like, try to surround yourself with as many people as you can who will, you know, lift you up in that aspect of your life that you want to improve in, instead of just drag your ass to the bottom.
Yeah.
Because there's many different ways, because some people will flat out tell you, dude, that's ass. That's ass, dude. That's your painting sucks.
Yeah.
You know, don't, you know, throw that one away.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's other people who they may be your best friend, but you're asking them for advice in an area they're completely ignorant in, and that can be even more detrimental than somebody who, you know, shoots down your happiness.
Well, like it's the type of thing where it's, you know, I'll use my writing as an example. It's like when I need a beta reader, that's somebody who's going to give me line edits. It's somebody who's going to give me advice on where I could, you know, what aspects of the story need improvement, things like this. It's like, I'm going to go to a fellow writer.
Yeah.
Preferably somebody who's working, right? Like who's getting paid for their writing.
Yeah, you're not going to ask Billy Madison to be your beta reader, for God's sakes.
Right. But if I need to feel good, like, and when we all do, we all need the encouragement to keep going, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to give it to my little brother, who is going to tell me how amazing it is. You know, that he's stoked. He just, you know, and he'll have read it. Like, he's not even blowing smoke up my butt, right? Like, he'll read the whole thing, and he'll tell you, you know, he's tell me who his favorite characters are and what he like. You know what I mean? We all need that.
Yeah.
But, you know, if I need, he knows too. It's like, I'm not going to tear down your story and tell you where it needs improvement. It's like, he doesn't know. You know what I mean? But so he's, it's like, it's knowing that too is like, you know, if you're trying to perfect something so that it can be sent to a publisher, just as an example, as a writing, like, then you go to somebody who's got maybe a little more expertise, and they're going to, everything they're telling you is not to hurt you. It's just to make you better. And you know that. There's no emotion involved. They don't even know you as a person. It's like, here, this is how I can help you improve. You know what I mean? But any kind of emotional feedback you want from somebody who knows their job, right? And their job is to pump you up and make you feel good, right? Like, that's
so just be careful. Be careful, because you can get held back in so many different ways.
And I think, like, that's a good rule for life in general, right? Just
And number 13, Anna.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, words have power.
Thank you. Yes, it's such a good lead-in for that.
Identity. And this is, this goes back to Robert Rodriguez saying create a business card that says filmmaker on it, or artist, or whatever you aspire to be, because you don't want to aspire anymore.
Yeah.
You are now taking on this identity. You're not aspiring. That is who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Because words have power. As a matter of fact, he even talks about how, even when he's talking about something, in the present, and he's reliving a story from the past, he'll be like, I was thinking, I can't work with this steady cam. And he's like, oh, I want to rephrase that because I don't want to say I can't. I couldn't at the time.
Yeah.
So he won't even let his
careful about
past,
it even in retrospect. Yeah.
Yeah, he won't even let his past self and how he talks about his past self influence his identity in the present.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, and the interesting thing about this one is I feel like it's the type of thing that people just need to be reminded of, because it's like a truth with a capital T, right? Religion has been talking about it for millennia. Scientists talk about it when they talk about frequency and sound frequency and how it can affect all the way down to, DNA molecules, right? Like the sounds. And, modern spiritualism talks about it as well. So it's like, this is something humans have been talking about
forever.
For always.
We know this.
Since language existed, how powerful language is.
Yes.
And, it's something I remind myself about all the time, especially when I do I can't. I haven't been able to yet, but I'm figuring that out. I'm working. I'm doing that. I'm just I don't do that anymore. Right? That's, and it's something I get on you about, don't speak that over yourself. Don't say that.
Yes, you do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do. I think words we say both to ourselves and to others are incredibly powerful.
Absolutely. You're casting a spell over someone or yourself. So you can change your entire life with your language.
Right.
So that's a big one for him. Just words have power. Be careful of what you say.
Yeah.
Even during that Lex Friedman podcast with Robert Rodriguez, he plays with Lex about wanting to be a musician.
Yeah.
And he's like, have you learned now that you're a musician?
Right.
He just messes with him. He will not let him,
Well, yeah, he asks Lex if Lex thinks of himself as a creative person, and Lex couldn't say yes. He really stumbled over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the end of it, he's like, yes, I'm creative. Robert Rodriguez did some magic on him, during which is an interesting part of the podcast interview as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think we all need that. And that goes back to the last point, is we all need somebody. Well, we all need to speak magic over ourselves, but I think we need those people in our lives who remind us of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of words, Anna, number 14 on our list of things you can learn from Robert Rodriguez. Have a journal.
Yeah.
Have a journal. And I
have 50.
Right. There's so many reasons for this, but books like Rebel Without a Crew, which is Robert Rodriguez. He goes over.
It's basically his journal from while he made El Mariachi.
And before.
Yeah.
Before, while he made it, and after.
Yeah.
And had he not kept the journal, had he not been in that practice, we would have never got that. And it is a great book. If you haven't read it, highly suggest it. It's so good. But so that just tells you he was doing a journal long before, even though I'm making this movie now, I'm going to keep a journal just while no.
Yeah.
He's always had a journal, but he talks about how, it's important for me because of Rebel Without a Crew, but for him, he'll tell you, he's like, you'll forget things. You will forget things. He's like, if you pull out a journal from 10, 15 years ago and start going, he's like, it's almost like a present. He's like, it's almost like reading someone else's life. because you'll just forget things. Oh, this guitar, Eddie Van Halen gave me this guitar. I didn't buy it. I thought I bought this.
I don't think anybody would forget that Eddie Van Halen.
Well, right,
guitar,
I think,
But I get what you're saying. Yeah, there are a couple of examples he goes over that are similar to that. He's like, I thought I just bought this guitar. I think that's one of them. It's like if somebody had given it to him as a gift.
Yeah, a studio or somebody or something gave him a guitar. But, and he talks about how, even if it's like a video journal, that helps too, because you get a look, oh my God, look how happy we were during this moment. Look how little the kids were. Look how, a good story he goes over is they were going to do a birthday party for his mom's 75th birthday. Mm-hmm. She didn't want to do anything. She's like, we will never top my 65th. What is the point? Mm-hmm. Everybody's going, all this, that, and the other. So Robert, and Robert's like, man, yeah, he's like, I gifted her a car for her 65th birthday, and like this was going to change her life. And
we had the whole family out.
We had and he's like, so for her 75th birthday, he took all that footage from her 65th and edited it and brought in a screen and played the footage for everybody and stuff on her 75th, and just she was just elated.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my God.
Look how fun that was.
Yeah. And just from creating a journal. I mean, and the things you will look back over and realize, you were, you may have some great insights like, oh man, I was feeling down during this time. And then you look and it's like, oh man, but look what happened the next day, man. I found $100, stuff down in the couch or, or anything. It's like, and then the next day your friend shows up and is like, man, you want to go get some ice cream?
Yeah. You know what I have found interesting about journaling is like the better I am at keeping up with journaling. Yeah. The easier writing is for me, like creative writing.
Absolutely, yeah.
And also the easier it is for me to like verbally express, especially my feelings. Yeah. But express myself in general, but definitely like explaining to somebody else like how I feel about a situation or why I feel the way I do about something. Like, so that's also really good practice just for that. Do you struggle with like expressing how you feel? And
it allows you to process stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like if we all experience so many emotions throughout the day. So if you're sitting on the couch in the living room, mm-hmm. you're watching TV, mm-hmm. scrolling through TikTok at the same time while you have pork chops cooking on the stove and your ceiling falls down. Yeah. Oh shit. You're dealing with the ceiling falling down real quick and you have all these other things going on and then you just breeze through it. That's great. You breeze through it, whatever. But your ceiling just fell down. You go and you write in the journal. Mm-hmm. It's typically just going to be you and your journal and the pen in your hand. Mm-hmm. So it allows you to sit there and process all the emotions you felt that you may have not had time for in that moment. It's like, man, my ceiling fell down. That really hurts. I'm going to have to pay to get a new ceiling. I'm going to have to pay someone to put a new ceiling up because I don't know how to do it. Mm-hmm. This, I was planning on having company over this weekend. Now they're going to say I don't have a ceiling. A little bit got in my pork chops and that bums me out. Popcorn ceiling floating around in grease. Ew. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it allows you to just process like what in the hell just actually happened to you and how this is going to affect your life. And it also gives you the tools to deal with it. Yeah. All right, moving forward. But yeah, absolutely too. It does, it fires those synapses and keeps that brain strong. Yeah. And
like, I think it goes back to resiliency. I think journaling is a way, especially if you're using it that honestly, right? And processing like all the things that happen in a given day or whatever. Like that's a good like weightlifting for resiliency, right? For building that resiliency muscle, because it lets you look at things once you get all the emotions out, like it lets you look at things maybe a little more objectively. Yeah. because it's not just about what went wrong today, but also you'll see like what went right today.
Well, and it's also a practice in discipline. You wrote something today, even if it's a documentation of what happened in your life. That's discipline, man, and that will translate to...
Even if you do something as lame as, like, today sucked.
Today sucked.
Period.
Let me tell you something about today.
Well, no, some days that's all you've got in you. You don't even have, like, the time or energy to say why it sucked. It's just today sucked, period. Yeah. I'll come back tomorrow.
All right, number 15, which we've touched on a little bit. Learn to be technical. Anybody can learn to be technical. That's easy. That's picking up the manual that comes with your camera, with these microphones.
Watching those YouTube videos.
Watching.
The how-tos.
Exactly.
Asking Joe how he does that. Right?
Absolutely. Learn to be technical. And that can, anybody can learn to be technical. You can do that. That is, putting a puzzle together, right? That's pretty much all that is.
Yeah.
But it will also could inspire some creativity. It's like, well, this works. I know we've all done something like this works this way. Why doesn't it work that way?
Yeah.
Could you do it that way?
Yeah.
Instead of, why can't I apply this adjustment layer on this footage?
Right.
Like, well, shit, it doesn't have adjustment layers. Why doesn't it have adjustments? Well, how can I mimic an adjustment layer? What could I do instead?
Yeah. You know what's interesting? What that made me think of, to bring this all back to kids again, interestingly enough, is when my little sister was having her children and they were little. Yeah. She had it was a spoken rule to me just because I asked about it. But at the time, before that had been like an unspoken kind of like rule. Yeah. Where she didn't teach her children how to play with toys. Oh. And I had never seen that before. Yeah. And was, didn't understand, right? Like I had to ask her, like, why don't want to show him how to use that? And she's like, no, I don't. Yeah. And it was like fascinating to watch. Like you give kids toys that as adults like seem very kind of cut and dry. Like this is A goes into B, goes into C. Like kids don't know that. They have no idea. Littles, especially like a 3-year-old, you give them something new and they're like, they have no idea what that is. They've never seen that before. They have no context for it whatsoever. And so one, they're going to have to figure out how it actually works. And by doing so, they're going to come up with 10 other ways you can play with that thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So by the time they get around to figuring out, oh, this is how this is really supposed to go, they're so good. They know everything about that. Yeah. They know everything about how that works, what you can do with it, what you can't do with it, and 10 other things you had no idea you could do with that thing. Yeah. It's fascinating, right? Yeah. So what you were saying just makes me think of that, right? If a person who has allowed themselves to be creative, right, tries to learn something technical, decides I'm going to learn how to do this technical thing, but they've already allowed their brain to be an out of the box kind of thinker. They're going to come up with 20 different ways to use that tool. Yeah. It makes me think of how, because of the projects you and I have been working on for the last 4 or 5 years, I've started using Photoshop a lot. I have never learned how to use Photoshop. But I'm absolutely somebody who believes I can figure out how to do anything. It's been a while. There are weird workarounds I have figured out in Photoshop on how to do things that he's just if you just click this and that, that'll do that for you. I'm like, I had no idea. I do it myself. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it is interesting though, because I've been using Photoshop for a very, very long time, and I'm not proficient in Photoshop. Yeah, more proficient than I am, but I argue that you're better than me, and you've been using it for 2 years just because you'll get on there and mess with it. And I'll mess with it until I figure out how to make it do what I want it to do. Yeah, it's very interesting. Well, number 16. Yeah, be a good pipe for the creative spirit. Yeah. Now, once again, this goes back to, Robert Rodriguez believes everybody has a creative spirit.
and that you just have to be a pipe for that spirit. You are just the conduit. You are the paintbrush. You are the pencil. You are the keyboard and mouse. You are whatever you are a tool
camera.
for the creative spirits to utilize. So all you have to do
is get out of its way.
Open
the pipe.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he says, you know, if you sit down at the computer or with a pen and paper and you start writing a script or a novel or a damn birthday card, whatever.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you've written 15 pages and you're like, oh my God, how did that come out of me? I mean, that's absolutely insane. Will I be able to do this again tomorrow? No. Grab spirit, you have cut it off.
Yeah.
Because you've just insulted it.
Yeah.
You thought this was you.
Yeah.
It was the creative spirit
flowing
flowing through you. And now you're going to have writer's block. You've put this pressure on yourself. He's like, you've allowed your ego to get in the way of your creation.
Yeah.
And now the pipe is closed off. You got to open the pipe back up. Yeah. And he talks about this in, you know, you were talking about how he had that comic script earlier. Mm-hmm. He said that he's like, man, he's just sitting around one day. He's like, man, wouldn't it be awesome if instead of sitting down with a pen and a paper or a pencil and paper and just drawing out these comic scripts, he's like, wouldn't it be awesome if I could just sit on the couch and just close my eyes and just envision the scene in front of me and then go write it. Mm-hmm. And he sat there forever. His deadline is looming like a mofo. Yeah. It's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had to go sit down with a pencil and paper and then, oh, shit, this is coming out. Well, this looks great. And this will go actually with what I did last week or the week. And then all of a sudden now he's got his comic together.
Yeah.
So basically his thing is you cannot sit around passively waiting for the creative spirit.
Yeah.
Because, it will pass you over. You're not plucking the notes from the air if you're a guitarist. You're not plucking the pictures from the air if you're a photographer or a videographer and then putting them in your camera.
Yeah.
You're letting them float by you. You have to have that camera in your hands. You have to have that pencil in your hands.
Yeah.
You have to be behind the computer with Final Draft loaded up or Final Cut Pro, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
It's not just going to come to you and beg you to and somebody else will do it. But now that is saying, I will say, I don't know if he gets into this, but I will add a little amendment onto this.
Yeah.
I will say
good because I have one too, but go ahead.
I will say, because we've all had shower thoughts, I can sit and picture stuff, scenes or films or what, and he does talk about that. He does talk about doing that.
Yeah.
The creative spirit, I think, will knock at your door.
Yeah.
And that is those scenes, and that is these ideas. But if you do not sit down and write those out, they will never come out. You've closed the pipe.
Yeah.
You can't do it just from your brain. You will forget it.
Yeah.
It will pass you by. I've had so many ideas that I have been in the process of working on, not giving it the attention it deserves, or that I have just simply let sit there in my brain. And I've watched somebody else produce that idea later that I have absolutely, they're on the complete opposite side of the planet from me.
Yeah.
And they have produced that idea, whether it be 6 months later or 16 years later.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there and I'm stumped every time, like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I had that idea.
Right. And Robert Rodriguez actually uses an example of that. He says that Keith Richards was asked once, like, how he comes up with these incredible riffs. And Keith Richards straight up said, like, I don't. They are in the atmosphere. And because I've got my guitar in my hands, I'm ready to just pluck it out. Right? Like,
I was just the first one to take it.
Right? I was just the first one to hear it, to be like, okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, Right. So, and a lot of people talk about that, like, you know, two similar movies came out within a year or two of each other at the same time. And it's because that idea, that creativity is out there. It's in the ethos. Who's going to pluck it out of the
Critters
air?
and Gremlins.
Right.
Tombstone and Wyatt Earp.
Right. Who's going to pluck that out of the atmosphere first? And, yeah, and I think like those are those moments where I would say, well, okay, he's right. But there are moments, right? Like, and shower thoughts are a great one. I know one of the best things I've ever had, like, come through me, like, was in a bath, right? Like, I didn't have my journal with me. I didn't have my computer. I will say I knew I was writing. Like, I knew I had, I had an idea for a story, and I had acknowledged it and written it down, and I had started, okay, I'm going to write. This is, I'm ready, right? I am ready to be this conduit for this particular story. And then I took a bath, and the opening scene for the story I was writing, like the whole thing played out perfect, like a movie.
Yeah.
Crystal clear in my brain. So then when I got out of the bath, like, that's the first thing. I mean, I'm still wrapped in my towel and I'm writing the whole thing down. Because
you have to do it.
You have to do it. But, the flip side of that, and it's something I had a writing teacher teach me a long time ago. She calls those moments the candy bars. All right, they're those yummy moments that just came to you so easily, and they're just there, and they get you through your story. The work is sitting down and writing from one candy bar to the next, right? Because having an entire script or an entire novel or all unfurl in your mind while you're relaxing, that's nearly impossible, right? Like, there's you'll have those moments, those wild moments of inspiration, right? Just kind of incepted into your brain by the creative spirit, by Alwyn, as they call it in Welsh. Like, that's like, the Welsh have a word for it, right? So, those are like fantastic, but it still takes at the end of if you're going to write the entire song, if you're going to do the entire painting, if you're going to you write the entire novel, you have to have the pen in your hand or the keyboard at your fingers. I know some writers who do voice recorders and they just let it flow out of their mouths. Yeah. And then have to go back and type up while they listen to themselves. Yeah. I've never been able to do that. My brain doesn't work that way, but some people's do. Like, that's how they do it.
And I do want to tell everybody, Robert did, when he was talking about sitting around with the comic script and nothing's coming to his mind. He does, however, go on to say, he's like, once you have that bad boy written out, if it's a movie, for instance. Yeah. Once you have your script written out, whatever, or hell, maybe even shot, whatever, you can then go sit on your couch and then just start picturing everything you want in your mind. Picture your edits. Yeah. Picture how that scene's going to look. How are you going to film it? What's the framing? How's that going to cut to the next scene? You can do all that.
Visualization, baby.
But you already got to have that, creative spirit and cement. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and have that cemented down, write it in your script, whatever. Yeah. And then you get to go, you have all the puzzle pieces, now you get to piece them together. Yeah. Yeah. But the creative spirit is handing you the pieces.
And last but not least,
number 17 on the list of things you can learn from Robert Rodriguez, Anna. Don't blink.
Don't blink.
Don't blink.
Which is interestingly, it's something you can learn from Robert Rodriguez, which he learned from Steven Spielberg.
Just keep going, man. Just keep going.
Right? Yeah. He asked Steven Spielberg, which is like mind-blowing, right? So Robert Rodriguez got to have a conversation with Steven Spielberg.
There's many mind-blowing elements to the Steven Spielberg story, but yes.
But yeah, so he asked Steven Spielberg, he's this genius, right? Made some of the world's most popular films of all time, who got a significant amount of hate, right? People just hating on him. And Robert Rodriguez asked him, how do you do it? How do you make it through just getting like you said, lambasted by critics or by fans or like how, and that's what Steven Spielberg said to him. Don't blink. Don't blink.
Yeah.
So it's like my dad's advice was always put your head down, keep going. Right? And the same thing. Put your head down, keep going. Just
that's it, man. Yeah. He said it's hard to imagine, but he's like, man, in the 90s, while Spielberg is still churning out hit after hit, I mean, this dude's unstoppable.
Yeah.
But people wanted to see him fall.
They wanted to see him fail so badly.
And it's similar to the James Cameron story, man. People wanted to see Titanic shit the bed.
They did. They thought this was such a huge ego trip, right? It's all the money he spent, this massive film set he created and all this kind of stuff. And no. Did that fail? Everybody, I mean, we still love it. But I saw it in the theater like 10 times.
Right. Yeah. And it's, just don't blink. Just keep moving forward. Let them say what they're going to say. That's their life. That's their assessment of you.
None of that is your job.
That's not your job. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep going, Have faith in yourself. He does tell a James Cameron story about the submarines he designed to go to the Titanic. And, dude, you're not scared to do that? And he's like, well, no, it doesn't occur to me to be scared. I designed them.
Yeah. He designed the submersible. So he wasn't afraid to go in. He's like, if somebody else had built it, maybe I should be scared. He said, but I built it. I trust what I did. I trust my work. I'm going down.
Robert just can't come. He's like, man, this guy has a family.
Yeah.
Can't do it. But yeah, don't blink. Just do it.
Yeah.
All right, Anna. That's it for our Robert Rodriguez lessons. I think it's a great one.
17 things you can learn from Robert Rodriguez.
17, and that's being kind about it. That's not sitting here for 5 hours because there's so much you can learn from him.
Yeah.
There's so many examples.
Well, and these are just like bullet points, right?
These are bullet points, really. There's so many stories. There's so many ways we could equate these to our lives, others' lives. Everything else.
Well, and I would imagine anybody else listening to him would come up with a completely different list of things. This is what we took.
I'm sure.
Listening to Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah. And I just got to know.
Mm-hmm. From me?
From you.
Okay.
After this podcast, if you could suggest one Robert Rodriguez film for the HorrorFam to go watch right now, what film would you suggest?
Oh, man.
Just
that's
one.
So tough.
Just one.
I think it would be too easy to suggest From Dusk Till Dawn because it's at least the last half of it is a horror film. And I don't want to say like, oh, to see that one. I think, okay, I'm going to throw out something interesting. If you've never seen the Spy Kid movies, right? Desperado is amazing. Everybody has seen Desperado. It's incredible. If you haven't seen it in a while, go see it. But I would imagine there's a huge swath of the horror fam that has never seen Spy Kids.
I would say so.
It is wildly fun. It is so fun.
I need to check it out. I've never seen them.
Oh my God, so fun. Oh my God, so fun.
Yeah.
I would just roll with that.
Yeah. As for me,
yeah.
This is tough. This is tough. I gave you a really hard one. This is tough.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. Like everybody has seen From Dusk Till Dawn, Desperado, all these. But one film comes to mind that a lot of people forget about.
Okay.
Doesn't get a lot of recognition. And I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Go watch The Faculty.
Oh, it's so fun. Yeah.
It would come down between the, because we've all seen From Dusk Till Dawn and everybody would be so excited to go watch that right now.
Yeah.
And I do suggest it, man. Go watch From Dusk Till Dawn. Go
watch
Desperado. Go watch them all. But yeah, The Faculty, and another one that was the close second was Planet Terror.
Okay.
That one doesn't get talked about a lot either, but they're both so fun. You can't go wrong watching any Robert Rodriguez, really.
No, they're so fun.
They're so fun. Such great films. He's such a great filmmaker. It is a dream to one day get him on my podcast hosted by mere mortals over here. But yeah, that's such a fun listen, that podcast. Go watch the Robert Rodriguez Film School.
Oh god, those are fun.
Go watch
you
his
can find
cooking
those on
school.
YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, go watch a tour of his editing studio, which is absolutely insane. I'm so jealous of that man.
He's turned his garage into a editing
pretty
room,
much. So imagine what Robert Rodriguez's garage looks like and getting so. All right, horror fam. Thank you all so much for listening to this one. If you haven't, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on the YouTube if you prefer that. Check out the newsletter. Link is in the bio to all of these. So make sure you hit that up and just love on some talk horror a little bit, okay? Hey, spread the love of Rooski. Give us the cuddles.
For the love of the horror fam.
Yes. All right, horror fam. Until next time, look horror.
Listen horror.
Talk horror, my friends. Mwah!